Meanwhile, sources telling Fox News that President-elect has selected yet another Goldman Sachs veteran to join his team, reportedly tapping Gary Cohn to head up the National Economic Council. So here we are. Loyalists continue to get shut out, but Goldman Sachs keeps winning. And I got to tell you, it's got a lot of folks upset. Here to discuss, Ryan Kordorski and Heather Higgins. Heather, Huck, Rudy, Brown, Palin, Christie, they were there from the beginning. They forged a way. They were like, you know, in football, they call them the wedge breakers, right? They set up the blocking and tackling, and maybe they all get shut out. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Because the point of Trump is that he's picking the best person for the job. And it's not about, you know, rewarding the people who were there early and often necessarily with these really important jobs for the country. It's picking the best people to do the best job that you can with those important roles. That's sort of different from business as usual. That's not what we expect from a political campaign, but it's actually kind of refreshing to see.
But Ryan, I think, you know, I follow you on Twitter. I think I saw you retweet the hashtag #NeverPuzder.
Yeah.
I don't think you were very happy with John Kelly because you had someone else you had in mind. Is there, we know that everything is refreshing and this is brand new, but is there a constituency of really strong Donald Trump backers who are saying, you know, we thought there would be certain people picked that would follow at least the message that we heard on the campaign trail?
So, okay, with Kelly, we want Chris Kobach to at least be deputy. Kelly's fine, and he's going to be great on terrorism, but we want Chris Kobach in the administration. He's the hardline on immigration. He helped Trump on immigration. Trump has promised us a lot on immigration, and he needs to follow through. Puzder is a disaster. When I say that we are furious about the pick of Puzder, I'm talking, I mean, this is a...
But why?
Because Puzder is a post-American capitalist. He has sat there and said, we will replace American workers with immigrants and then immigrants with robots. This is, he said that Jeb Bush was too conservative on immigration. He has openly endorsed the idea that he's not going to push for more H visas and against E-Verify. This is everything. He's everything Trump campaigned against. Everything. And he's the one candidate that really Republicans, Democrats say, maybe you should pick somebody to keep some of your promises. Puzder is the worst of any of his picks, is what Trump supporters, diehard Trump supporters, are really mad about.
Well, Heather, you know the cream of the crop in the business world. Do you think Puzder is a bad pick?
No, I actually really like Puzder as a pick. I think that he's actually been far more astute and far more capable of making the case for why a lot of regulations have been really counterproductive to the well-being of workers across the spectrum than most have. His comments about robots, I think, have been taken out of context. If you think about it, and if you're an employer, if you're looking at minimum wages being raised so high that at some point automation does become attractive, and part of his goal is to keep the stepping stone to opportunity alive in this country so you don't have such high unemployment rates. I think the bigger concern for many people is we keep going back to the Goldman Sachs well. They have a talent as a firm. Obviously, they hire really bright people, but they seem to have a political talent for getting in the right place. No, I don't have a problem because I trust Trump to hire really good people, but I would think that people who are, you know, conservatives who are expecting Trump to hire Republicans are looking at a Democrat from Goldman Sachs, and this is the second one, third if you count Steve Bannon. They're going, hoping that he had a good conversation with Trump and that this is going right. We know that he was concerned about Fed policy, and obviously switching that asset inflation around is going to be really important to trying to reverse the economic travails that the country.
Although I get a feeling that low rates, at least I think I heard Steve Mnuchin talk about rates staying low for a while because, you know, particularly if we're going to build the wall and the infrastructure stuff. So where do we go from here? I saw that you like the idea of Carly Fiorina coming on board. Rex Tillerson, apparently the betting now is that he is in line to be Secretary of State. Ryan, are these things, would they make you, you sway some of your bruised feelings right now, or is this still moving in the wrong direction?
I think with Secretary of State, he needs to pick somebody who sticks to a more non-interventionist foreign policy. I'm happy Rudy is out of the thing. I don't want to see Romney in. I wasn't particularly happy about Nikki Haley, but it's fine. It's the UN ambassador. I would sit there and say that he should pick somebody either like Dana Rohrabacher or Senator Corker or the ExxonMobil CEO. Rex Tiller's fine pick by me. Somebody who's unknown, who's not going to cause waves, and who's going to be part of the Trump administration, not trying to co-opt Trump to be what.
Well, one thing I think we all can agree on is that there's one common thread between most of these folks, and is that they have always had the mandate of winning. They've always had the mandate of accomplishment. Never, was never about compromise being okay. Whether you're a general or a CEO, you always had to win, and I think that's something we all appreciate. We got to leave it there.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you both very much.